Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Mundo's Garden. Uh, Here I am outdoors. I just did a video indoors with you guys, and I just wanted to give a little outdoor update as to what's going on. Um, just wanted to show you kind of what we got going on right now. Um, so we've actually expanded the garden, and this is, with goes in line with keeping things cost effective, not overspending where it's not necessary, right? So I think for us gardeners, it's always good to use the resources that we have. Sometimes we have stuff that we could use around the house and repurpose it for our garden. In other cases, we can. Sorry, let me turn so the sun's not behind me, giving a glare. But there's other resources such as Craigslist, Free Cycle, the other ones like Offer Up and stuff like that, where people are just getting rid of stuff. You typically want to look for the free stuff, obviously, first, because I think it's something when you garden, you don't really want to go outside. Like, you don't want to overspend, because it kind of defeats the purpose of you growing your own stuff. Obviously, over the course of time, it'll end up balancing itself out, and or creating more of a benefit to the gardener. Now, we just recently came across somebody who's giving away some pavers and cinder blocks, and so we decided to pick some of them up. We also got in touch with the local horse farm, and they were giving away manure and partially composted manure. So we went ahead and took advantage of that as well. So I'll show you guys what you guys are already familiar with, which is this. And again, pardon the mess. I got some stuff still out. I'm working a lot. I can show you. I think I showed you that already done with the tomato trellis in place, or at least the wood in place for the tomato trellis. So you guys are familiar with these 3 beds. This is where my wife has her bed. And as you see, instead of bricks and wood, now it's all with cinder blocks and these pavers, some bricks in some places just for the spacing properly, right? So we were able to use some of the bricks for the for some of the little trees, as you can see over there, right? So all these, and you might notice that some of them are actually a little higher filled now, and that's due to now us having some compost to put underneath and whatnot. So this I showed you is what I was going to be using for strawberries, and I am still going to be using it for strawberries. Put some onions in. I don't know if it's too early for that. We'll see. But this is new, and this is all done with the pavers. This is new, also all with the pavers. I did have to buy some soil, but that's okay. I mean, it was minimal cost for what I was getting in return. This is what I'm going to be using for my cucumbers. Here's another bed as well. Now we have bricks also for the cherry tree, cinder blocks for the kiwi, which this one, I got some clips, so I'm going to be holding this up now in some fashion. And then the nectarine as well. All right. Also, where we do the corn, we got cinder blocks for that. But not only that, we also got, so we were able to pull all this wood out from these areas and now do it fully with cinder blocks. Another cool thing I thought I'd share with you guys, these are the asparagus that, look at that. We already got one popping up there. We got one little head in there. And I know there's others. They're just a little buried right now as we were working with this stuff. So we probably got a little too much on top. But there's definitely a bunch of spears. Look at that. You see a little purple guys in there. These guys look like they're producing pretty nicely, actually. And right here, I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be using that lattice as a trellis here for the beans. So, I think it's important for us to always be reaching out to resources so that we can, manage our garden in a way that's affordable, that makes sense. I try not to buy too many plants. I try to start what I can from seed. I try to harvest materials. Sound like I'm in Fortnite, but so I can tell you these 2x10s were actually bought. Most of them were paid for. I bought them at the Home Depot. These, however, were not for my tomato trellis. Now, these actually, a neighbor was had them thrown out. Had them thrown out on the sidewalk. I asked, it was already on the sidewalk, but I still saw they were out there. So I said, "Hey, are you guys throwing that out?" They said yes. So I went ahead and grabbed it. Now, what I did, because I know you guys probably remember this was taken down, I used angles, and I think I mentioned this in a previous video, but I used angles in the four corners because some of it was starting to rot a little bit, and it was just the screws weren't enough. So I went ahead and did that, and then I used some of the smaller angles there and there just to kind of help support the weight. Now, this year it's going to be a little different because I'm going to be using clips. I feel like last year there was probably a little more weight on it. So I got my crossbar here. I'm still going to be tying string from it, and it's still going to be attached to tomatoes, but I'm going to be using these clips, and I feel like those clips, because I'll be using them in different locations throughout the plant, and I'm also going to try to go a little more vertical this year and not try to let the plants spread out so much and become like more bushy. I'm going to try to create more of a vertical, but I want to keep somewhat of a limit, right? I don't want it to get over, I don't know, maybe like not over 7.5 feet. Excuse me, just so it's comfortable for us to be able to still pull tomatoes off of it. So, going back to what I was saying, always just try to save your money. Look for people that are giving wood away. Look for people that are giving dirt away, or soil, or compost, manure. If it's just manure, it's not composted yet, you can still use it. A lot of the times what you can do is hold on to it, right? So look early on. So right now, any extra manure that we have, we're putting it aside. And what we're going to do is we just got to work it. And if you work it, at least, 2 to 3 times a week, within a month to 2 months, you should have compost. And you can use that in your garden at any time, which is fantastic. But what I did is I layered, because it was not fully composted. I went ahead and, before I put this soil on top, I layered the bottom of the bed with manure, kind of stamped it out a little bit, and then threw a few inches of soil on top. That way, that when I plant, by the time the roots get down to that, it should be composted far enough to where where the nitrogen level has released enough to where it's not going to burn our plants. So I'm confident that we're going to have a good harvest this year. And obviously we'll keep updating to show you guys how that's going along. And actually the next video is going to be just a straight up update, I guess, probably on, my garden here, outdoors, and how things are going. But anyways, guys, like always, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Please feel free to let me know, comments down below. Let me know what you guys are growing at home. I want to give a shout out to Eric, who actually commented, and he's doing some stuff at home, which I'm excited to see some of his stuff. Hopefully he can share with us at some point and, let us see what he's doing at his house. I'm sure we could learn from him, as he is probably learning a little bit from us. So, as always, guys, stay tuned. Happy growing, and we'll see you next time.